All right, today I thought I would just go through the tech stack that I'm using. If you're trying to create an application and you do not know where to start, and you go into ChatGPT and you say, what are all the pieces that I need for my application? And it spits out a large list of stuff of like, here are 10 different options that you can use. Just look at what I'm using, know that it worked for me, and you can use that option as well. So I'll start from the back end and make my way to the front end. So first up, we got databases. What am I using for a database? I'm using PlanetScale. This is a relational database. It's working great for me. No reason to use anything else. All right, what am I using for authentication? I'm using Clerk. I know that there are other authentications like Next.js has a authentication built in, but Clerk is working for me and I see no reason to move from that. Okay, so next up after authentication, what are we using for the backend language? We're using Node.js. I don't like JavaScript, I don't like TypeScript, but it's what I know how to use for this type of application, and so I'm using it for now. However, I would love to explore other languages for the backend. What am I using for the front end? I'm using TypeScript with React with Next.js. So if you don't know, but you probably do, Next.js is like a meta framework on top of React.js. If you're using React.js in 2026, I don't see why you wouldn't use Next.js. Let me know in the comments if you think that that is false and that you shouldn't use Next.js. Let me know. I do know that being tied to Vercel isn't great, but I have hosted a Next.js application on Azure, so it can be done. Okay, so now where are we hosting? We're hosting my personal projects on Vercel, of course. At work, I do not have Vercel. So if I'm building a Next.js application at work, I am hosting it on Azure. Definitely not as easy as Vercel. What are we using for our code repo? We're using GitHub. This has always been like the de facto thing to use until now. It sounds like there's other products coming out there and people are not trusting GitHub as much anymore. I think until you are an advanced user, you do not need to worry about this. You should just use GitHub as your code repository. If you're asking what a code repository is, just use GitHub. Those of you who know what I'm talking about in terms of like, maybe GitHub is no longer the tool to use, good on you. Okay, so what else do we got on the stack? We did the database, we did authentication, we did the actual framework, and we've got payment. Use Stripe. There's no other reason to use anything other than Stripe. So payments, Stripe. Okay, so email. I'm using Zoho. I don't know much about email stuff and like what the different tools are out there. Zoho is currently working for me. I haven't like tested it that hard. I've just emailed myself a couple times, and I've emailed one or two other people. So hopefully it works, but so far I'm liking it. It's simple and it's free. I think I'll have to double check that. What am I using for my AI agent? I'm using Claude. That's the one I use. I'm sure there's other ones out there. I'm not like a hardcore AI nerd who knows all the different AI tools out there and all the different benchmarks. Claude has been great. I don't see why you would use anything else if you're just trying to jump in to a good AI agent. What am I using for my editor? I'm using Vim. That's working so great with Claude, but if you don't want to learn Vim, then I guess use VS Code or whatever they use nowadays. I don't even know like what the text editor is anymore. It was like you used Atom and then VS Code came out, and we did that for like 10 years, and now it's like all over the place. So but yeah, if I wasn't using Vim, then I'm using WebStorm, but that's also a little too advanced, so VS Code is a great option. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's take it from the back end straight to the front end right now as just a little refresher. So database, we got PlanetScale. On authentication, we've got Clerk. On our language, we've got Node.js and TypeScript. On our payment system, we've got Stripe. And on our emails, we've got Zoho. Let me know what your tech stack is in the comments below. Also, follow if you would like to continue to see as I progress through LetEmCook.io, which is the app that I'm building myself to help me with my meal prep. All right, thanks.